You know what? It wasn't a fight. What happened? What, what happened was, and I wasn't, and I didn't know this until uh, years later. I didn't know this until years later. Nelson told me, but we were overseas in Israel, and it was during the Passover. And there was one night we was at an event, and Nelson fainted in the hallway. And so they, because we were overseas, they wouldn't take you to a hospital there. So they just took Nelson back to the hotel. And we were working a program at the time against the head shrinkers. And so the agent comes to me and says, okay, Nelson's out for the night. So, Mo, you're going to work a singles match against Sabu of the head shrinkers. You know, and Fatu, you're not going to work at all. And, of course, Fatu didn't like that idea. He was pissed off, and he was ranting and raving about it or whatever. And so I'm standing there going over the match with Samu, and Shawn Michaels comes out of the shower. And man, he hit me in the back harder than I've ever been hit on a football field. He just knocked the hell out of me. And my response was, the operative word would be, excuse me. And his response was, fuck excuse me. You guys have no work ethic. And I'm confused at this point. I don't even know why he done it or, you know, what he's talking about. But then he goes on to say, you young guys come up here, you don't have no fucking work ethic. And, you know, he said, your fucking partner, he falls out in the hallway. All he had to do was get his fat ass up and just walk down to the ring. You do all the work any fucking way. You know, and then there would be a tag match tonight instead of this bullshit singles match. So he was going off. He basically was mad because he thought Nelson should have just sucked it up, went to the ring, stood on the side, and we go out there and work, you know, the tag matches we had been working. I mean, I take the heat anyway. We go out there and work the tag matches I've been working. So that's what he was pissed off about, and he took it out on me. And my response, being the man that I am, is if you put your hands on me again, I'm going to beat your fucking ass. Should I have said that to Shawn Michaels? Hell no. I mean, how fucking stupid can you be, you know? You a rookie and he's one of the top guys in the company. Should I have said that? No. Did I know that then at the time? No. Did I pay for it? Yeah, dearly. I paid for it, you know, and so what did it get me? It got me pulled off TV for 9 months, and I had to travel on the road for 9 months and not work. And because I was on the road traveling 9 months and not working, I wasn't getting paid for working. I was getting a per diem, but I wasn't getting paid for working. So for 9 months, I pretty much, you know, starved myself. It's pretty much starved. And in that 9 months, got highly depressed and attempted suicide. So,
oh wow.
Was there a fight? No, there wasn't a fight. Did I get assaulted? Yes, I got assaulted. Did I respond? As a man, yes, I responded and told him, you know, don't put you know, not to put his hands on me again. He never did, you know, after that. And you know, nobody ever after that, you know, put their hands on me. But the fact is, I was punished for something, you know, and I was there to work. You know, I got the hell knocked out of me. I went out there and worked, got my eardrum busted in the match, never complained about it, and then I come back to the States, and for 9 months, I'm totally taken off TV. And I'm totally having to go to every house show for 9 months and sit there and watch the matches. That's how horrible it was. But that is the God's honest truth about that matter. You know, so it was never a fight. I never raised my hand to the guy. He assaulted me, and I just told him, don't ever put his fucking hands on me again. You know, and if he did, then, of course, then, you know, there's 3 sides to me. there's the black militant street ghetto ass, person that grew up in the projects and don't give a damn about nobody. And then there's politically correct, play the game, follow the rules, side. And then there's just the real me, which is kind, gentle, love all children, all humanity, black, white, whatever, but that night he pulled out the ghetto side of me, and like I said, I didn't touch him, but if he had put his hands on me again, I probably got locked up overseas, because I would have tried to kill him. I really would have. Yeah, because simply because, man, because number one, he was one of these guys that I admired, that I looked up to, and for him to assault me, I can understand. This is gonna be kind of a crazy ass analogy, but I can understand how hurt a woman would be if she got the hell slapped out of her by a man that she adored. You know what I mean? Can you imagine? Adoring somebody and then they hurt you in that way physically. So that's what happened. I respected this guy. I looked up this guy even to this day. I think he's one of the greatest wrestlers that ever put on a pair of wrestling tights. But for that night, that moment, he put his hands on me. Number one, and he didn't have a legitimate reason to do that. And so. But then the icing on the cake was he assaulted me, and I got punished for
it. Well, in the WWF at that time, did you seek influence, from anybody, maybe like a suggestion? Like, I heard a story that you, I guess, asked the Macho Man Randy Savage, and he was kind of a backer of you guys, and he kind of gave you some advice, I guess.
Well, that same night, in that same whole little scenario there, after Shawn Michaels had gone off, the first person that responded that was there was Bret Hart. And Bret Hart pulled me to the side and he said, listen, he said, you didn't do anything wrong. He said, but you got to fix this situation. And I said, what do you mean? He said, what you need to do is you need to pull Shawn Michaels to the side and apologize and tell him you didn't mean no disrespect. At the time, I didn't think about it, didn't understand what he was talking about, where he was going with it, but I just did what he told me to do. I pulled him to the side later and apologized, told him I didn't mean no disrespect. His response to that was, fuck you, and just walked off. That was his response.
Huh.
I went and sat down. While I'm sitting there, Macho Man's putting his boots on, and he says, and I'm like, I'm talking to myself at the time, because I'm just not understanding. And I'm like, fuck this, I'm ready to quit this bullshit or whatever. And that's when Macho was like, brother, let me tell you something, brother. No matter what happens, no matter what you do, don't ever take yourself out of the game, brother. Don't ever take yourself out of the game. And I really didn't understand. I'm young. I'm 23 years old. This is my first big job. None of this stuff was covered in the training. So I'm really just looking at it from a street thug, point of view. Like, do I knock the hell out of my boss and lose my job? Because that's kind of the way you think of it when, somebody that's over you like that. Do you knock the hell out of your boss and lose your job, or you just suck it up? It's almost like, degrading, punking yourself, counting yourself down, you know what I mean, just to keep the job. So that was the worst part is, it's almost like somebody took my manhood from me, and there was nothing I could do about it. The alternative would have been to beat his ass.